Hi, welcome back to Layton's All. I haven't shot a video in a couple of weeks. I've been working away from the homestead for the last little bit. So today I thought I'd just take you guys along. I have to get some of my garlic fermented. I had grew so much this year that we're probably not going to be able to use it all up. But yeah, I'll take you guys along. I'm actually going to show you a trick that I learned about peeling garlic, because when you do a lot of garlic and you got to start peeling each individual clove, it takes a long time to do. So I'm going to show you guys a little trick that I find that works the best. Now, I've watched quite a few people, show you different things online on how to actually do this, but they don't really work. You can put them in a bottle and shake and shake and shake and shake. They still don't come clean, no matter how much you shake them, and you can end up bruising the cloves and stuff like that. So that does not work. There's a few others, but I'm not going to keep going because people have a lot of ideas. But this is the one that I think works, and what I did is I incorporated a couple little things. So I'm just going to show you guys quickly. I'm going to bring you in so that you can actually see exactly what I'm doing. Head of garlic. Now this is all my garlic that I grew with, and this stuff is exactly, this is my garlic that I grew. I don't buy the stuff that's in grocery stores. I think I read somewhere along the line there's like 80% of garlic that's sold in North America comes from China. So once I learned that, I went online and tried to figure it out. China grew their garlic. Most people don't realize this, but most of the garlic that's grown in China is fertilized with human feces. So yeah, it's not exactly something I would like to eat. So yeah, these are the garlic cloves. What I do is I cut both of the ends off just a little bit. Now even this one does not work 100%, but it works better than any other one I've tried to clean the garlic, to get them. Still takes a little bit of time, but this one works better, in my opinion. Now, I've already peeled all the garlic I need. I'm just doing this so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put hot water in the pot. Those few little garlic. It works better when you have quite a few more garlic. I'm just getting the hot water to flow. Now my hot water is about 106 or 7 degrees. That comes out of the tap. Now I just put it in hot water from the tap. Now there's only 4 little cloves in here. Usually I let them stay in the water for about 2 minutes in the warm water. Well, it's actually a little bit warmer than warm. It's hot water. But what I do is I would usually have about 20 or 30 cloves in there. And I would just kind of rough them around and rough them against each other. Because if you know anything about garlic, it takes a long time to peel, if you're doing hundreds of cloves. I'll show you. That took about 10 seconds. There you go. Clean. Perfectly clean. So that's the easiest way to do it. That's what works for me anyway. Okay, these are 1 liter jars that I'm using today. These are mason jars, 1 liter. I'll show you what I'm actually doing. I'm going to be putting my garlic all in these. These are the garlic that my wife and I peeled a little bit earlier today. Do this to try to get my garlic to kind of settle a little bit more into the bottles. because I do need some space at the top. So what I'm actually using is I'm going to use my purified water. This is a purified system that I bought about a year to year and a half ago. I did a lot of research on which one was the best. This one is by far the best. Now, I'm not affiliated with these people at all, but this is a zero system. It's called the zero purification system, and it works great. It's way better than any of the other ones. All the hype, because when I first started looking for one, because I have really good water here anyway, but I just wanted to have something that I could purify my water a little bit more. So when I started looking, all the hype was on these Berkey systems, right? Everybody must know the stainless steel Berkeys. There are, these things. After I dove into the research a little bit more, it's all hype. It's not true. The Berkeys, they're not certified. They have never gone through a rigorous certification to prove that they do what they do. They don't. I've watched a lot of people test Berkeys with all the different elements, aluminum, fluoride, and all of this stuff. Berkey, in certain cases, they actually put more chemicals into the water. Their filters do. But, that's just what I'm saying that I've watched. I'm not saying it's actually true, but these are the videos and things that I've watched on the Berkey. That's why I decided not to go with them. So, what we're going to do, because these are 1 liter, we're going to need Himalayan salt. Because you can't really use table salt, the regular table salt that you will buy in a grocery store, because that has additives in it. We don't use that for anything, because it has, I think they had iodine to it, and anything else I'm not 100% sure. Stir this guy up a little bit. Now this is Himalayan salt, so I'll try to dissolve it the best I can in here. That's 2, so I'm going to add 2 more. Because it's usually a teaspoon per 500 milliliters. But these are 1,000 milliliter, well, which is exactly 1 liter. So I need 4 tablespoons of salt. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now this is about the easiest recipe you're ever going to do. They don't get any easier than this. Make sure there's no oxygen trapped or air trapped down behind the garlic. Add a little bit more water. A little bit more water. Now when you're fermenting, it's very important that all of whatever it is you're fermenting at the time is underneath the water. That's very important because you don't want mold growing on the top of whatever food you're fermenting at the time. If it's left out of the brine, you could get mold that will grow on it. Now also, my garlic's not floating, but if you leave it in and it's fermenting for a while, it could actually float to the top. So I have glass weights that I use for when I'm fermenting, and they just sit right on top. Push it down a little. I'm going to take a little paper towel and wipe it off because it kind of forced up a little bit more of the water than what I would have liked, but that's okay. Now, these are my fermenting lids, I should say. This is a rubber gasket on there, and these are my valves. I'll show you how they work in a minute. Now, the reason I put this on tight is because I do have the valves. The valves, what these guys do, let me get that off and I'll show you. This is the lid for the valve. I'm not sure how well, but there is little tiny pinholes all around the outside edge of this lid cover. This is the float that goes inside this part of the valve. Now, in this thing, we need to a little bit too much. That's good. Halfway up with water, then this goes on top. What it actually does is it stops oxygen from getting in, but as the garlic is fermenting, it lets the gases escape. Now these are just a convenience. You don't have to have these to do fermenting. This one's being a little difficult today because they have to be airtight. Actually, I think I got a little bit too much water in there. Oh no, that's good. Yeah, it's because of my float. I probably got a little bit too much garlic in there, but that's okay. Let's see. Yep. Oh, it works good. That is pretty much how I do my garlic. Yeah, this is the garlic. It's in the fermenting jar now. It's just a regular mason jar. So our ferments is the lactobacillia, which is bacteria that lives on all surfaces, on our skin. That's actually what ferments our garlic, or ferments whenever you're fermenting. That's what actually causes it to ferment. So this will sit. You never leave anything you're fermenting in direct sunlight, or like mine will actually go in the corner of my kitchen away from most of the light, and it'll sit there for about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. And then what I'm actually going to do, because we don't like to, once it's done, once it's fermented for that amount of time, what we actually do is we take the garlic out of these jars and we put them into 150 milliliters, I think they are. They're just little small jars, but we still use the same brine, and we put the brine back in and we put the lids on fairly snug. And, well, not too snug. They still need to have gas escape, and we put them in the fridge. The main reason you have to put them in the fridge is because these aren't canned, and they could go bad as they're just sitting out in the warm weather. But they need to at first so that they're fermenting, and it will actually help preserve them for longer. And the main reason I do my garlic as fermenting and not canning is because if you can your garlic, you kill most of the nutritional beneficial vitamins and minerals and everything else that's in garlic if you can them. And like garlic has been used in traditional medicine for thousands of years. It is probably one of the best things for you. Personally, I eat a clove of raw garlic every single day. Now I don't chew it up. Raw garlic unfermented is very strong tasting. It's got a very bitter, hot taste. I just swallow a whole clove, smaller cloves, obviously, and with lemon juice. That's what I do that every day. It helps boost your immune system. So yeah, I got to do the same thing with this one. Oh, I need to put my weight in there to make sure that, see, the garlic's actually starting to float already. There we go. I better double check and make sure, because there is a gasket on the bottom of these lids. I just got to make sure that this one has it. Yep, it does. Okay. Good. lid off. Just use a smaller one. Don't need very much water for that. Just a few dribbles. That's it. That's all it needs. That's it. That's 2 liters of garlic that should be ready and fermented in about 2 to 3 weeks. Should be all ready, and I can switch them over to smaller jars and put them all in the fridge. Now my next fermenting thing is going to be cabbage. We're going to make up some sauerkraut. We use the same jars, same method, same everything, but I'll bring you guys along when I'm ready to do that. So yeah, if you got anything out of the video, maybe consider subscribing. Smash that like button and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And thanks for watching.